be a
And that's it. That's it. Let's see what he gonna do.
It's a bitch.
Sorry, you got to go down.